Hello students, in this session I will be dealing with the normal puparium. So normal puparium, it is the period after the childbirth when all the organs are reverting back to the pre-pregnant state, and it will be lasting for about 6 weeks. So puparium means the period which is the following the childbirth, during which the body tissues, especially all the pelvic organs, they are reverting back approximately to the pre-pregnant state, both anatomically and physiologically. And if you're seeing one of the physiological process or the main physiological process during the puparium, it is involution. So what is involution? Involution, it means the reproductive organs, they are returning back to their non-pregnant state. So the period where involution occurs soon after the delivery, which is lasting for about 6 weeks, that period is known as normal puparium. And we can able to see so many changes in the physiological changes during the puparium. So what are the objectives during this period? We have to restore the health of the women. See, there was a deterioration in the health of the women during the pregnancy stage, and that deterioration in the health has to be restored. Then we have to promote the lactation. We have to prevent all types of infection to the mother and to the baby. Then we have to note down the progress of the baby growth. Then we have to advise the mother on immunization, and also we have to sensitize the mother for the family planning. So these are all the objectives during the care during the puerperal time period. Okay, so to restoring the health, promoting the lactation, preventing the infections for the mother and for the baby, then noting down the progress of the baby, advising on immunization, and imparting family planning guidance. So if it is a primipara mother, we can opt for the temporary family planning methods, and if it is a multipara mother, we can sensitize her for the permanent family planning methods. Coming to the physiological changes during puparium. What are the changes happening in the reproductive system? So in the uterus, immediately following the delivery, the uterus will become firm, it will start to retract, and you can able to see alternative hardening and softening of the uterus. So this hardening and softening of the uterus, it is nothing but the uterus is returning back to the normal stage. Okay, so when that uterus and its supporting structures or the supporting organs of the uterus, when it has come back to the normal stage, you will call it as involution of uterus. If it is not coming back to the normal stage, that is subinvolution of uterus. So approximately the uterus will be weighing about 1 kilogram soon after the delivery, and it will be reducing its size also. So whenever it is contracted, whenever the process of contraction and retraction starts, the involution starts, it will come back to the normal size also. So we can able to measure the uterus of about 20 centimeter in length, 12 centimeter in width, and 7.5 centimeter thickness will be there for the uterine walls. So this is the changes in the uterus. Okay, and if you're seeing at the end of the first week, the uterus will be weighing about 500 grams, and by the sixth week it will weigh about 50 gram, and the placental side, it will also contract. Then if you're seeing the lower uterine segment, it will become thin, a flabby structure, and it will start to collapse, and all it will take a few weeks to revert back to the normal shape and size of the uterus. So within a few weeks, the uterus will come back to the normal size and normal weight as it was in the pre-pregnancy status. Coming to the fundal height, so after the delivery, the fundus can be palpated below the umbilicus. And after 1 week, it is above the symphysis pubis. And after 10 days, it is not at all palpable. Then coming to the discharges from the uterus. So after the delivery, there will be discharges from the uterus, and that is known as lochia. The lochia, it can be classified into three: lochia rubra, lochia serosa, and lochia alba. So this discharge, it will be originated from the uterine body, cervix, and vagina, and uh, and if you're seeing, three types are there. That is lochia rubra, lochia serosa, and lochia alba. Lochia rubra, which we can able to see for about 1 to 4 days, and that lochia rubra, it is red in color. So if you are seeing the lochia rubra, it is red, then it will be consisting of the RBCs, so that only it is red in color. Then a lochia serosa, which is yellowish or pink or pale brownish color, and that is in between 5 to 9 days. And that is, last one is lochia alba, which is a pale white colored one, and that will be there for about 10 to 15 days. So if we are seeing for a fortnight, for about 2 weeks, the vaginal discharge will be there during the puerperal timing. And first it will be alkaline, then towards the end, this it will become acidic. This discharges, it will become acidic. Coming to the changes in the perineum. So the perineal muscles, it will regain the strength. It will start to regain the strength, and the swelling will be reduced. Okay, so that is regarding the changes in the perineal muscles. So what happens to the perineal muscles? Perineal muscles, it will be regaining its strength, and that is also a part of involution, and also the swelling will be reduced. Coming to the changes in the endocrine activity, so estrogen and progesterone, the levels will be decreasing soon after the expulsion of the placenta, and that will be reaching to their very lowest level 1 week after the postpartum. So estrogen and progesterone, it will start to reduce. The levels will be decreasing soon after the expulsion of the placenta, and it will be reaching to the very lowest level after the 1 week of postpartum. So the estrogen level in the non-lactating women, it will begin to increase. Okay, if the woman is not breastfeeding the baby, that will be increasing by 2 weeks after the birth, and it will be at the higher, it will be at the peak one after the 17th day of postpartum, if the woman is a non-lactating woman. Okay. Then, if you're seeing the oxytocin and prolactin, so soon after the delivery, estrogen and progesterone, it will reduce, and oxygen and prolactin, it will start to secrete. Oxytocin secretes from the posterior pituitary gland, and the function of the oxytocin is to eject the milk. Okay. Then prolactin, the prolactin, which is secreted from the anterior pituitary gland, helps to produce the milk. And this prolactin level, it will also decline if it is a non-lactating woman, and by the third week, the prolactin level will be reaching to the pre-pregnancy status if the woman is a non-lactating woman. So in the lactating women, estrogen and progesterone, it will be reducing, and oxytocin and prolactin, it will be in a high concentration. Next one, changes in the cardiovascular system. So in the cardiovascular system, if you're seeing, the cardiac output, it will become normal within 1 hour of the delivery. And the blood components, it will be increased loss of plasma will be there in the first 72 hours. Erythrocyte sedimentation rate is increased. There will be leukocytosis, and we can able to see varicosities of legs and anus after the or during the puerperal time period. What are the changes in the gastrointestinal system? So in the gastrointestinal system, as the digestion and absorption begin to be active again soon after the birth, the mother may feel very hungry and the bowel sounds, it will be active. Mother will pass the stool, but it will maybe a slow process because of the effect of relaxing on the bowel. As there is the effect of relaxing on the bowel, there may be a constipation because the mother cannot able to pass the stool for about 2 to 3 days, and there will be increased thirst also. What are the changes in the breast? Breast tenderness, it will be occurring for about 48 hours. So after the 48 hours, the mother may have the breast tenderness. She may have the soft breast and colostrum can also be expelled. Coming back to the changes in the abdomen. So the abdominal tone, it will be returning back within the 6 weeks. So 6 week time period it will take for the abdominal muscles to regain the strength. What are the changes it will happen to the genitourinary system? So the bladder wall, it will become edematous and often it will be showing the evidences of extravasation of the blood. More blood circulation will be there. Then if you're seeing the ureters, it will be dilated and the renal pelvis, it will return back to the normal size. So the ureters which was dilated during the pregnancy time and the renal pelvis which was dilated during the pregnancy time, it will come back to the normal size within the 8 weeks of time period. And also we can see in some cases the bladder may be over distended without any desire to pass the urine. So if the women, sometimes it is there, the women may not feel the urgency in passing, but still her bladder will be over distended. And in some, for some women, one of the physiological changes it is increase in the urinary output, which is known as postpartum diuresis. Coming to the changes in the nervous system. So in the nervous system, if you are seeing the carpal tunnel syndrome, what was the carpal tunnel syndrome? The tingling sensation which was felt in the fingertips, okay, tips of the extremities. That was relieved during the puerperal time period, and some women, they will be having postpartum headache. And what is this postpartum headache? See, because of it can be occurring because of the anxiety. So how to take care of the baby, so that and all, it will be an anxiety part to the mother. So because of that, there can be a postpartum headache. Coming to the integumentary system. So what are the changes in the integumentary system? The stretch marks, it will still appear to be reddened, but prominently it will be disappearing. The stria gravida, the chloasma and the linea nigra, it will be disappearing. Okay. And stria gravida, it will becomes a white silvery color. And coming to the changes in the vital signs. So what are the changes happening in the vital signs? See, there may be slight increase in the temperature for during the first 24 hours after the breast. So that is one of the changes. And occasionally the women's breast, it will be filling with milk. And on the third or fourth day, because of that, because of the increased vascular activity involved, there is a chance of increase in temperature. So the temperature will be rising because of the vascular activity, increased vascular activity. Otherwise, for the first 24 hours, there will be an increase in temperature. And if you're seeing the pulse, so initially tachycardia will be there, which was associated with the labor and the delivery. And following that, the bradycardia will be there soon after the, or in the early puerperal time period, we can able to see the bradycardia. And the women's pulse rate during the postpartum time period, it will raised for a few hours, and then it will be subsiding and it will be slightly lower than the normal. And because of the increased stroke volume, uh, the pulse rate, it will be between the 60 and 70 beats per minute. So these are the changes during the puerperal time period. So in this session, we have saw what is normal puerperium. Normal puerperium means after the delivery, 6 weeks time period, you will call it as normal puerperal time period. And we have saw regarding the physiological changes during the normal puerperium. So in the normal puerperium, there can be changes in the reproductive system. Changes will be there in the perineum, changes in the endocrine activity, cardiovascular system, GI system, breast, abdomen, genitourinary system, nervous system, integumentary system, and the vital signs. So, all the organs or the deterioration in the health which was happened during the pregnancy time, it will be coming back to the normal non-pregnant status. So that time period we will call it as puerperal time period. So that's all for this session. Thank you, dear students.